everybody, it's Duff Stotler here, but most of you know me as Duff Man. Just wanted to do this video, kind of like an appreciation video, I guess you could say. I'd just like to thank everybody out there for making the PPHA Expo possible. All the volunteers and the PPHA members, everybody, the president. I'd like to thank you guys all. It was an awesome day. A lot of neat vendors, a lot of good custom call makers. It was just great speakers. I really didn't get to hear the speakers, but I've heard Freddie McKnight before. If he did as good as he did last year, I guarantee people would be pleased with him. Same with Byron South. I heard him a couple times. Oh, well, I actually only heard him once. Back a few years ago, he did a really great job, and I guarantee he did an excellent job because, man, I just seen so many people up talking to him and stuff. So he probably really did a good job. But I'd like to thank everybody that supported me in the calling contest. You know, rooted for me, I guess you could say. It means a lot. It really does. If anybody was there, I really had no intention of even being in the calling contest. I got there, and I was talking to Mike Dillon, and he asked me if I entered the calling contest, and I said no, because I'm not old enough to be in the adult competition. He said, "What?" I said, "Yeah." So he talked to Tom Pervs. Tom, I hope I said your last name right. He talked to Tom, the president of the PPHA, and Sean and Tim that got the calling contest together this year. He came back to me like 10 minutes later and said that I could enter the adult competition. And I was just like, wow, you know, it was insane. And I didn't even think to bring my calls. Well, I did think to bring my calls along, but I didn't even think that. So then I went to one of my good buddies, Curtis Hauser, that owns Kettle Creek Calls. He had a stand at the expo, and I said, "Curtis, I'm entering the contest, and I didn't even bring any calls along with me because I had no idea this was going to happen." So he said, "Pick which ones you want. Just holler for me, whatever, anything you need." So he's an awesome guy. He really is. He is nice enough to let me borrow some of his calls and using the contest. Got the calls. I mean, these are calls that didn't even. I just picked them up off the table that he was going to sell. Just picked them up off the table. Went outside, back to my dad's truck. Blew them a little bit. Tried to get a feel of them as much as I could. I mean, if anybody, you know, calls with hand calls, it's different when you don't have your own hand calls with you. When you're not blowing them yourself, it's just different. So I tinkered around with them a little bit. Got ready for the contest. Got in there, and contest started, and I wasn't even dreaming of winning this contest. I was back behind, me and the other contestants were back behind. I mean, each guy that went up, I would have hated to have been a judge at this contest. It was just so hard. There were just so many good callers there. I mean, it was unbelievable. It really was. Got through the contest. Then about, I don't know, probably half an hour later, they got the scores tallied up, and me and one of the other guys that's on the boards, Big Ben, we were standing there talking about our scores and stuff, and he said, "Dude, I think you got it." I was like, "What?" I was like, he said, "I think you got it." I was like, "Oh, well, we'll see." And all the people came up to me. I mean, I thought I sounded okay, but I didn't think I sounded, you know, spectacular. I didn't even think. I thought there was just the other guys that were calling. They just sounded so much better. It was insane. So we got up there when they were announcing all the winners, and they announced the first place winners of the Distress Division and the Coyote Vocalization Division. So we were standing there, and they called my name for the first place of the Distress Division, which then I was tickled pink. I mean, I couldn't ask for anything better. It was just awesome. So we were standing there, and they were announcing the all-around winners, and they got to second place. And I think second place was Tim. I'm not sure. Tim Deckard. I'm pretty sure it was. They announced his score, and I was just like, I couldn't believe it, because I think my score was a little bit, like a couple points above his. I was just like, no. I turned to my dad, and I was just like, no way. I was like, there's no way that I won this. I sitting here now, talking to this video camera, talking to you guys. I still can't believe that I actually won. They announced me to come up. I mean, it was overwhelming. It really was, because it's pretty much everything. I mean, that I've dreamed of doing. I mean, it might sound, a little corny or something, but it really is. I mean, it is just the winning the contest. See, I mean, the Expo had a great turnout. I think from last year, I thought there was tons of more people than there was last year, and I was really happy about that, because I mean, I think it's just going to grow bigger and bigger and bigger every year. So yeah, it was crazy. So they gave me the awards, took pictures and stuff, and everybody came up to me, congratulating me and things of that nature. And I'd like to thank you guys too. You guys, it really feels good when people come up and say that to you. I met a lot of great people. I met new faces. I met old faces. I mean, it was just awesome to meet new people that came. One person in particular, Chad Walk from Virginia, came up and spent the day there, or actually the weekend. Him and his wife. He's an awesome guy. I'm really glad I got to meet him on Saturday. And I'd like to thank again Mike Dillon, all the Foxborough staff for letting the PPHA hold the expo there at their facilities. It's a really nice place. PPHA, the volunteers, the members, you guys did an excellent job. You really did. And a special thanks to Curtis Hauser. Probably if it wasn't for Curtis Hauser and Mike Dillon and Tom and Sean and Tim for letting me call in the contest and all that together, I probably wouldn't be making this video right now. I know I wouldn't be making this video right now. So I can never repay you guys, really. It's awesome. It's just crazy how things happen like that. So I woke up on Saturday morning thinking, I'm gonna go meet some, great people. I'm gonna meet some old friends, and then that happens. By the end of the day, 12 hours later, I'm just like, wow. I'm still shocked. So yeah, I wanted to make this video something a little different than just typing something. And I'm really thankful for everybody out there. Really thankful for all the people that cheered me on. I'm really thankful for everybody that came out to the expo. The people I didn't meet, I'm sorry. I wish I could meet everyone there, but there was tons of people there. It would have taken me all day probably. But I really would have liked to meet everybody. So I guess now March can't really come soon enough. The World Expo, it's such an honor, really. It's to be with those Fox Pro guys, go out with them to the expo and meet all those guys out there. It's undescribable. It really is. So I'm really looking forward to next year's PPHA Expo. Really am. So hope you guys have a good rest of the summer. Good season next year. First season, deer season, turkey season, fall turkey season, whatever. Good luck to everybody.